such a time as this.
And welcome back to For Such a Time as This, the place where there is no such thing as a silent witness. Want to encourage you, as always, to go to our website, for such a time as this .today, for such a time as this .today. As Big Brother continues to squeeze, you can always go there. You can always go there and find our newest material and always stay up to date on the For Such a Time as This station, where we constantly looking at the world through a biblical lens. So today I would like to welcome the producer of For Such a Time as This, who produces all our materials, videos, articles. I'd like to welcome again to the show, Abigail Ruth. Hello, Abigail. Welcome to your own show.
Well, good afternoon, Pastor James. And I just have a little correction there.
Uh-oh.
I do not produce all the materials.
Yes, you do.
We do have other contributors. I just write the description.
You produce it. I'm not saying you
make the
create
graphics.
it. You don't create all of
okay.
it, but you do produce it and edit it. So this Friday, April 30th, and Saturday, May 1st, we're going to have a conference here, an Apologetics Conference here at New Hope Community Church in Palatine, Illinois, Engage 2021, hosted for such a time as this, and Midwest Christian Outreach, Don Vino's group. There you will have a featured sessions, and then you will also have breakouts in which people will do seminars. And one such seminar will be taught by none other than Miss Abigail Ruth herself, dealing with the critical race theory issue. And before we get into that critical race theory issue, here's the theme on our show when it comes to critical race theory by the great theologian Alfred the Butler.
Some men aren't looking for anything logical, like money. They can't be bought, bullied, reasoned, or negotiated with. Some men just want to watch the world burn.
And that's it. Some men just want to watch the world burn from the dark night. With that said, Miss Abigail, take it away.
Yes. Well, that pretty much sums up the goal of critical theory, including critical race theory.
Yep.
Critical theory is basically a strategy to accomplish that. And we've talked in previous videos, Pastor James, about the Marxist roots of critical race theory.
Yep.
And that is why, that is the bottom line, that you have to get rid of the current system in order to usher in the Marxist utopia.
Yep.
So that is the holy grail. That is the goal. And it really helps to know that when you're trying to understand the things that you hear people say and advocate for, like defund the police, and other things like this. And so that's kind of the overriding thing that I want people to understand. Critical theory is a worldview which studies and criticizes all aspects of the dominant culture with the goal of revolutionary political change. Blogger Alex Koppel puts it like this. I like this. He says, critical theory is a way of criticizing anything to death. That's like
criticizing
exactly
to death.
Right. Exactly. And Pastor James, when I think about just even our presidents up until Trump, and all the anti-Americanism that has, since I was a little girl, I do believe that it is all connected to this.
Oh, absolutely. This is the culmination of years of anti-American sentiment, even from our presidents. Now, let me ask you this. You said up until Trump. I think Reagan was in that same vein as Trump.
Yes,
I think Reagan loved America.
He was an exception.
Yeah,
he was definitely an exception.
Yeah,
but in recent history, 100%. I mean, the Obama apology tour.
Oh,
you remember that?
Oh my, he criticized. I mean, he's going around apologizing bowing to Muslim kings. Oh, and so now we actually see the fruit of this, the fruit of this anti-American, and it boggles the mind. It boggles the mind
does.
how we Americans were able to swallow this. Unbelievable.
It is,
Unbelievable.
and it's just, and now it's a lot easier to put all the pieces of the puzzle together. Where
Yes.
before, you get things here and there, and you'd scratch your head, and
Yeah.
or if nobody refuted it,
Yeah.
you just shrug and go on your merry way. But
Yeah.
if critical theory were a tool, it would be a sledgehammer. It's only
Yeah.
good for one thing, and
Yep.
that is destruction. And today it occurred to me, the goal of the Chinese Cultural Revolution was to get rid of the so-called four olds: old customs, old culture, old habits, old ideas.
Yep.
It's the same thing.
Yep.
You're getting rid of the current dominant culture.
And replace it
But
with what, as you see?
well,
And to replace it with what?
well, like James Lindsay says, details on the other side of the gulag are a bit hazy. Because they never talk about this. Okay,
Yeah.
you defund the police.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to send in social workers, right?
They
I
are
mean, now no
wonderful.
serious person
Believes
can,
that.
can
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
So
What they're
they don't
afraid to
have
tell
a,
you
it's
is there's going to be replaced with the brown shirts. That's who's going to replace the local police. The local neighborhood policing will be replaced by the state police, which
right.
which is not accountable to the local populace. Uh,
Right.
yeah.
And I think it is only concerned. Their only concern right now is to destroy. Again, that's it. It's
Yep.
not to, this doesn't lift anybody up. This doesn't build anything. It only destroys. And people need to understand that, because it is so very, very dangerous.
And once you see it, it's almost like crystal clear. And now you can see it once you understand what's behind it. Now you can actually see, oh my goodness, this not only has been the goal from the beginning, it's
Right.
an old record. Has God really said? You know what? The reason why he doesn't want you to have that fruit, because he's holding back. He knows that in the day you eat the fruit, you shall be like God. Made Eve unsatisfied with the millions of trees she could have eaten from.
Exactly.
She was just discontented because she couldn't eat from this one tree. And if you look at what's going on with critical race theory, you have to forget all the freedoms that we experience, that the rest of the world does not. All of the wealth and pleasures that we experience and the rest of the world does not. Have to get you to focus on one or two incidences. Well, let me be fair. 9 incidences in 2019 that happened. The unarmed killing of black men, 8 of whom was breaking the law and resisting arrest. But you've got to get you to focus on that and not all the other wonderful things that this country does. It is
Exactly.
sad. It is sad
It's
to see what's going on. And people are buying into it. They're buying
And
into
it's been said that only a people who have zero understanding of what real oppression is could possibly buy into this.
Yep.
And I think that's true.
Yep.
And they have to be completely ignorant of history, completely ignorant of what goes on in the rest of the world. Otherwise, you wouldn't be buying into this.
No. And Exhibit A and all of that is you have LeBron James who sits up and says, we're afraid of going to the store. LeBron James.
Right.
LeBron
Sure
James.
he is.
LeBron
Yeah.
James. Who believes that? If you believe that, call me. I have a bridge I want to sell you. It's
Exactly.
dishonest. It's completely dishonest.
It is.
But it's getting us to focus on the one tree we can't eat from and ignore the thousands of other trees we can eat from.
And it isn't even a real tree.
Isn't even a real tree. Well, it's a
I
tree.
mean,
It's a tree of poison and cyanide.
well, yeah, but what I'm saying is it's not like there's
Oh,
something
it
that,
doesn't exist. Yes, yes, yes.
yeah, that we don't have, that we should have, that's being unjustly kept from us.
Yeah,
And not that the tree was unjustly kept from,
yeah.
Adam and Eve. That's not what I'm saying. You
Sure,
understand what I'm saying.
sure. I understand what you're saying. I understand
We
what
have
you're
a
saying.
video. Let's play that since you
Okay.
brought up the subject of truth.
All right. Let's play the video of two of the. What? How can I even describe them?
Well, these two have written the two most popular books
Okay.
for just regular people about critical race
All
theory.
right.
One is Ibram Kendi. He wrote How to Be an Anti-Racist, and Robin DiAngelo, of course, with White Fragility.
All right. Here we go.
So we turn to two leading scholars and best-selling authors who've written extensively about race in America. Ibram Kendi is of Boston University, and Robin DiAngelo is from Washington University in Seattle.
Ibram, what is a question you think white people should be asking?
I think if white people claim they are anti-racist, then they should be asking questions like, why is it that unarmed black people are being killed by police, but armed white people are being arrested? Why is it that black people are disproportionately dying of COVID-19? Why is there a growing racial wealth gap in this country? And to me, if you answer, well, because there's something wrong with black people, then you're answering with a racist idea.
I would urge white Americans to remove the claim, I'm not racist, from our vocabularies.
What are some of the excuses that you've heard when people say, I'm not racist because?
Well, I've been to Costa Rica. I'm a vegetarian. I'm from Canada. I had a black roommate in college. I was a minority in Japan, so I know what it means to be black. It just goes on, and it's
I saw
absurd.
something
It's
in your book that said, I marched in the 60s. My cousin is married to a black man. Yeah. Most black people I know, myself included, are hearing from their white friends who are asking for guidance about what they should do. How can they be better?
Okay. Are you asking, Abby, how you can be better, what you should do? Well, why not? Well, why not? Obviously, those two well-informed, intelligent people are.
Well, because their whole, how do I say this? Their whole worldview, they actually even reject the idea of truth, of objective truth. They just reject it. Everything is power. Everything, truth would be subjective according to whatever position you hold in society. It's just a complete rejection. What do I say? And you can see that in their books. For instance, when I started reading White Fragility and the one from by Jamar Tisby, what was that? The Color of Compromise.
Yeah, I think that sounds familiar.
Well, they had examples of discrimination, of racism with regarding the police, right? And they used Michael Brown as an example.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought to myself, okay, either they're completely ignorant of the actual facts of the Michael Brown
Which they are
shooting,
not. They are not.
Which they are not, or they are just dishonest.
Yes.
And the whole book was laced with that kind of thing. The fact of the matter is that a police officer is 18 and a half times more likely to be murdered by a black male than an unarmed black male is to be murdered by or killed by a cop. That's a fact.
Yeah.
And go ahead.
Here's one thing, when you throw out those statistics, and because you're getting that from the, I saw the study. It was from the Justice Department, right? Last time they put that out was 2019. Those statistics, right?
That one I have to look and find that source.
Bob Woodson and stuff uses that all the time, and see. But here's your problem: when you throw up different stuff like that, and you try to use facts, and here's one of the things you just Abby, you just don't understand.
Some men aren't looking for anything logical, like money. They can't be bought, bullied, reasoned, or negotiated with. Some men just want to watch the world burn.
See, and that's one thing you just don't understand.
No, I understand it now, Pastor James.
Yeah.
I didn't before, and that's what made that, when I first read White Fragility, that's what made the book so hard to understand, because I was looking for reasons. I
Yeah.
was looking for logic.
Yeah.
I was looking for facts.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that this worldview rejects all that.
And I, you know what? If I had a dime for every time I spoke to a believer who's looking at the world, who's looking at what people are doing and getting so incredibly frustrated because they're trying to figure out why people are doing this, and they're looking for logic and reason.
Right.
Here's two things that they have a problem doing. One, like we've been saying, you're dealing with people who they don't want to. You can't buy them off. They want to see the world burn. That's it.
Right.
That's it. And then two, I think Christians, even though we may say it in Sunday school, we have not come to full grips with the reality that man is not basically good. Man is evil by nature, and it's hard for us to grasp the fact that when you're dealing with people who are not redeemed, it's like we attach a good nature. But obviously they're doing this because somehow they think they're doing good. No, they are not. You are assuming that their nature is one that seeks the good for themselves and others. That's not their nature. Their nature's evil.
Although I would say, and definitely, I mean, the people who are behind this, you know, the big
not
money,
redeemed.
the Soros money, and these, you know, D'Angelo, Kendi, these people, I would say absolutely yes. But I would say that the people in the streets holding up those signs truly believe that what they're doing is virtuous. And that just gets me back to that Bible verse about substituting bitter for sweet and good for evil. And people are so confused.
But is it simply a problem of their head and being confused? I would say no. I'll tell you where people like those are complicit. Are they complicit openly in that way? No. I'll tell you where they're complicit. They want to do what they want to do in other areas of their lives. Whether it be, and most of them, let's be honest, are in the sexual arena.
Yeah.
And so they're complicit in that area, and now to cover for that, whether it be that area or another, it's the rejection of anything or anybody that I'm now morally accountable to, and that is where they're complicit.
Yes, I would agree.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, all right. So let me put it up here. Let me put it up here again. The conference that is coming up here. Wrong one. Sorry. Image. The conference here is coming up. Engage 2021. It will be here at New Hope Community Church, 1023 East Palatine Road, Palatine, Illinois. Doors open at 5:30 Friday. 5:30 Friday. We'll get started. There's 2 main speakers Friday, and then there's going to be 3 with a bunch of workshops in which Abigail Ruth will head up this one. Last words, Miss Abigail.
Yeah, I just quickly want to say, you know, the Bible tells us that social problems are the consequence of individual sin. So this is the exact opposite.
Yes.
Social problems are the consequence of groups.
Yeah.
Things that groups do. You know, the 10 Commandments were directed towards individuals, not groups. That is a singular you there.
Yeah.
God governs the world by the basic principle of reaping and sowing. This says that groups that disadvantaged groups have no personal responsibility. They can utterly lack.
You're stepping on toes now, Abby.
That I'm just telling you what this
toes.
worldview is saying. Whether I'm stepping on toes or not, this worldview refuses to acknowledge individual responsibility.
Yes.
Real biblical justice requires impartiality.
Yeah.
And in the words of Stacey Durham, blogger, the woke social justice movement is perhaps the most perfect example ever of a vain philosophy and empty deceit.
Yep.
So,
All right, so hopefully you can make it. We will see you there. I will be there Friday and Saturday. Until then, God bless, and always keep your mind on Him. Thank you, Abby. See you soon.
Bye, Pastor James.
Bye-bye.
For such a time as this,